Ruby Franke was smitten by Jodi Hildebrandt? This means something.
P-A-S-C-A-L.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, The Pascal Show, one word. Hit that like button down below. And let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, please be sure to crush that follow button on my Facebook page if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, we got to jump into this story. You already know that we have been covering this Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrandt, 8 passengers, YouTube mom influencer thing where she has been arrested for crazy charges to her children. And Jodi Hildebrandt has been arrested as well. They are in jail right now as we speak. And now we're hearing some interesting information from an ex-cellmate of Ruby's, which is very interesting now because, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, okay? There's a real reason why I'm bringing this up because it could mean two different things. And of course, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it says a woman in jail with Ruby Franke said she seemed smitten with Jodi Hildebrandt and was upset they didn't share a cell. Now, that could mean it could mean a plethora of different things, but there's two things that come to mind in my personal opinion, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Let's get into this. And smitten? Why would she be smitten? It just seems a bit odd, especially with their religious beliefs and all of that. Don't worry, we're going to get into that in just a minute. So, a woman who shared a jail cell with Ruby Franke for 3 nights said Franke seemed fixated on her YouTube partner, Jodi Hildebrandt, and complained that they were held separately from one another. And that's probably a good thing, in my personal opinion, so that they can't sit there and corroborate a plan or try to finesse their way out of these charges that they're looking at right now. Let's keep it real, but they're complaining nonetheless. Deborah Monson, 52, spoke with the insider of the article I'm reading here, about her stint in the custody of Washington County Sheriff's Office in Utah at the same time as Franke and Hildebrandt. She was arrested on August 31st on allegations of petty theft and possession of some stuff. We got to use these code words, okay? She told Insider she is innocent and will fight the charges. She was booked on the day after Franke and Hildebrandt were arrested on suspicion of these charges, which I cannot say out loud. Okay, got to use these code words, unfortunately. Moving on, Franke, we already know, is a famous parenting YouTuber who launched her channel 8 Passengers along with her husband Kevin, documented their life and their 6 kids. Obviously, she closed the channel earlier last year, in 2022. And then she switched all of her focus with Jodi Hildebrandt and her channel Connections. Now, Munson said she spent around an hour with Hildebrandt at the start of her stay in the Purgatory Correctional Facility, followed by 3 nights with Franke in a medical area. As of Thursday, both Franke and Hildebrandt were listed as still being in jail. And apparently they have a hearing coming up on Monday, and maybe they'll get bail, maybe they won't. I hope that they don't get bail because they could kick rocks. I think that they could kick rocks. Jodi Hildebrandt apparently makes a whole lot of quiche, or has a lot of quiche. The home that she lives in ain't a cheap home. Okay, just so that you all know, it's like a $3 million house. So she's doing just fine. So the fact of her being a flight risk is real up in this piece. So I hope that they don't get any type of bail. But moving on. Insider contacted representatives for Franke and Hildebrandt, but neither responded. Now, the ex-cellmate said she had no idea who they were at the time and only realized after she left and her family was talking about them on the drive home. Monson described both Franke and Hildebrandt as really tight-lipped, but said she had a lot of time to observe how Franke behaved. I mean, she was sharing a cell with this woman. Let's keep it real. Most notably, she seemed distressed that she and Hildebrandt had been separated. She did not like the fact that she was not with her partner. We're going to get into that in a second. She said, God, how long are they going to keep us in here? And why did they separate me and Jodi? Monson said. She said, also, I can't understand why they separated me and my friend. Franke was really, really concerned about Hildebrandt. She also said, and wanted to see her, wanted to talk to her. Monson said Franke was interested after she let her know that she was briefly held alongside Hildebrandt. So she showed interest about Monson as soon as she said, "Oh yeah, I was sharing sharing a cell with her a little bit ago." So she's like, "Oh, what did she say? How did she act? Did she say anything at all?" She said, and she described Franke as almost childlike in her manner and almost smitten with Hildebrandt. Monson told Franke that Hildebrandt seemed pretty distraught. Obviously, she'd been locked up, okay, and didn't want to talk about anything at all. She, like she said earlier, was very tight-lipped. Jodi, she continued saying, Jodi had obviously been crying a lot. Monson said of her time with Hildebrandt, her eyes were really red and swollen and kind of squinted. You could hardly see her eyes, and she looked very distressed. She said she asked Hildebrandt why she was in jail, and Hildebrandt looked at her with, quote unquote, not a smile, not a frown, but a straight face and said, I'd rather not say. I said, okay, I apologize. I was just trying. I wasn't trying to invade your privacy, Monson said. And that was everything that was said between us, between Monson and Hildebrandt. Monson said Franke reacted to her account by saying, that's what I thought she would be like. Monson said Franke also, quote unquote, played mother hen to another woman in their cell. Who Franke believed was going through drug withdrawal. Franke was tucking the blankets under her and mothering her, nurturing her. Monson said Franke also carried a Bible with her a lot of the time. She kept holding it to her chest and she closed her eyes. At one point, Monson said she saw Franke crying. When she asked her what was wrong, Franke said, I just miss my kids. Right, you miss your kids. You miss your kids in the dire straits that you left them in. That's what you miss. Monson said she doubted Franke's sincerity, though, saying her emotions seemed to have, quote unquote, no depth, and that she seemed, quote unquote, completely narcissistic. Franke and, of course, Hildebrandt both face 6 counts of CA. All right. The Franke kids were taken into care after the arrest, and the courts have kept the details of their care since confidential, citing the children's need for privacy. And I completely and utterly agree. Now, one thing I found to be very interesting, okay, obviously the main part of course, the title of this video is that she was smitten, almost like a little kid, wanting to know how her crush was doing, type thing. How's she doing? That kind of thing. That's crazy. But it also kind of gives you 2 different things. One, either there could be some sort of romantic situation going on between them, and there was a connection so deep that it maybe blurred the lines into a different type of relationship. Okay. And 2, it's the situation of maybe Franke doesn't know how to conduct herself without her guru walking around and telling her how she's supposed to act and how she's supposed to conduct herself. Think about it for a second. Because she doesn't have nothing else better to do with her time, what is she doing? She's going, and of course, it's nice that she's helping a girl going through withdrawal, but at the same time, is she also using this opportunity to maybe convert, to get some followers while she's in there? Now, I know that could be me, deep diving or, reading into something, but let's keep it real. She's walking around with a Bible, clutching that close to her chest, acting as pious as we've heard from in-laws, saying how she's very pious and very snobby about her faith in God. And now her partner is split away from her. So clearly, she's probably going, I don't know if I need to continue finding ways to connect with my leader, or this is my opportunity to lead while she's in there. I don't know, thinking that she can convert the sinners. I don't know what it is. But at the same time, the fact that she's smitten, to me, tells me something. Tells me through this, of course, this is just another person that was in the cell, and it's their interpretation of Franke and of Hildebrandt. So it is just an opinion, but at the same time, it is a little glimpse inside the cell, okay, inside the jail right now, and all that. And to me, it just seems a little bit weird. Just the fact that she is so focused and hyper obsessed with Jodi, when right now she should be trying to figure out how to save her own butt in this situation, or try to find a way to get a smaller prison sentence or something, because they're going to get some prison sentences. Let's be real. They're going to be found guilty unless some weird miracle on their behalf happens, or unless something really gets screwed up, which I highly, highly doubt. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I mean, the smitten thing tells me that there's something deeper than this. There's something deeper than spiritual going on. I think that it could be something more physical. And let's not forget, in the Mormon faith, they don't look at they frown upon homosexuality, homosexual activities, anything that has to do with the LGBTQAI plus community. I mean, all that stuff they frown upon. So the fact that if they are smitten and getting all cozy with each other in a physical way, I don't know, just shows to me how hypocritical those two really are. But then again, are we surprised? Aren't you not to harm thy neighbor? Yet they were harming Ruby's kids. Interesting, right? So anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button, please and thank you. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to hit that follow button over there as well. Anyway, it's time to get going. Secret lovers, I'm not surprised. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.